So I just want to talk about this now while my brother-in-law is here. He came over and talked to me for a few minutes, and we always have like philosophical. I think everybody that I end up talking to, it ends up being a philosophical conversation. Otherwise, it's just there's only so long that it can last. And he was talking to me about fear and about fear of the unknown, which is something that I've been talking about lately. Fear of the unknown. I have a shaman. I have a shaman, like he's my shaman, but I do. I have a shaman that I've been working with for a few years. He lives. He doesn't live here, but he lives in South America. But he comes to Israel every now and again, and we're in touch, and we've become friends. And I really appreciate him and trust him. And in one of the shamanic ceremonies that we had, and it's connecting back to the conversation that I'm having with my brother-in-law, is Adam, my brother-in-law. He's the one that plays like the drums at the rubbery jam. So he's talking to me about fear and how fear is a projection out of your subconscious, and the more that you are in the places that you are afraid of, the more that you stretch your own boundaries and are able to cope in those places. And it also connects back to something that that we're always afraid of what we don't know. So if you've noticed what you already know, you're not afraid of anymore because you know you can deal with it. And when it's something that you don't know is when you are afraid of it. So that was an interesting conversation. It connects back to something that my shaman said to me when we were going into a shamanic ceremony. And one of the things that he said three things, and I'll go ahead and say all three of them because they were all, they're all lessons for life. He told me those things in connection to the shamanic ceremony that we were going into, but they also, when I really looked at them, I took them as rules for life, really good rules for life. One is that you might feel fear, but just remember that you're not really afraid. It's not something that you need to be afraid of. It's just something that you don't know. And that really hit me in life, where there's really fear, because right now at this moment, everything is fine. Fear is really just fear of the unknown. You're always afraid of something you don't know because you've never handled it before. You don't know how it's going to hit you. And what he was talking about is how fear comes from your subconscious. It's always, your fear, because right in this moment, he said he had a dream about fear and about the subconscious and how fear comes out of your subconscious. And everything that he said is true. He's a very spiritual. Very spiritual. I think that he is, he is a medicine man, and his medicine just flows through him. Also through his spirituality, also from how he is, and through his music. His music is mesmerizing. I very much enjoy his music. He is really, really, really talented. Talented as God life working through you. So the other things another thing that he said is that he said it in different words, but it was also really smart, is trusting, being able to, what he said is stopping in place. So, we don't stop and just be. We're so used to running all the time and being in motion that we don't know how to just sit in place. And when we sit in place, we start going into like frenzy, like we have to be, we don't know what's going to be. We need to do. And when you stop for a minute, it's like everything is in motion, and you stop and everything is just like. And so he said it in a different way. It was really smart what he said, but it hit me also as kind of like on where I am in my own, things that I've been talking about lately also on the videos, and kind of just trusting stopping for a minute, being in the now, being in the moment. Right now I'm painting and I'm making a video. My rent isn't due. And those are places that I'm always going back into. Oh, my rent, I need to make money, I need to this. And right now, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing this. So the, having fear and all the thoughts and trying to get ahead of myself and be in the future, first of all, for me, takes me out of the now, takes me out of where I am. And it means that I'm right now, if I'm worried about the future, I'm not experiencing this moment. This moment, Rexy is laying over there watching the shadows and the flies. The chickens are cackling behind me, and the trees are blowing a little bit. The high leaves are blowing a little bit in the wind. And I'm making this video and painting this garbage can and mixing all these paints and enjoying myself very much. If I start getting into my head now, into the future, oh, where's my rent going to come from? How am I going to do this? I'm getting into this place where I just be and allow and get into the flow, and whatever is, and what will be, will be. That's something I also need to learn with my twin flame. What will be, and just kind of let it go. Okay, let it pass, instead of like all of these, okay, I can't deal with this anymore, it hurts too much, so I'm just gonna cut you out of my life now. It just seems like ever since I made that video yesterday, and I'm just leaving it at that. I didn't contact him since then and say, oh, I had this new realization, let me try to force something more on. I just left it. What will be, will be. If it's left at that and he slowly fades out of my life, then I guess it wasn't meant to be, and it's not even a twin flame journey or whatever. No, it is. It definitely is. Yesterday also, when we were talking, I said something to him about that I feel like we are cosmically connected, and he just kind of changed the subject, where he said, I feel like we're like siblings. That's what he said. I feel like we're siblings. I don't know. I think about my siblings. Okay, well, siblings don't have to be in touch all the time, because I have a brother that I talk to once every few months, and we're really close. And I'm not worried about him thinking I don't love him just because I don't talk to him every other day. So, and the truth is, that it's really fun when I see him, but I don't feel like when I don't see him that, oh no, I need to see him, I miss him. So I definitely don't feel towards my twin like we're brothers and sisters, siblings, but if that's what he feels, maybe I can adopt it. I don't know. Maybe sometime down the line it'll feel like that for me. I don't know. Maybe. I feel like his mother is kind of like family. I really do. I feel like she's family. I feel like we're friends / family. Almost like, we talk daily, his mother and me. And I just feel like that's a given, and I don't really even feel like it's connected to him. I know that there's a connection there, and that it's, and we talk about him. She adores him. He can do no wrong in her eyes, which is really, I'm learning from her mothering skills a lot about unconditional love, and also I can see how he has gotten used to being loved, that's unconditional. Somebody will accept him no matter what he does. And I could see how that is unconditional love. So we're coming back to the unconditional love. And you know what? I have my friend here that I talk to. She's so funny. She after I put up videos, sometimes she'll stop the video in the middle to send me a message about whatever it is that we're talking about. So she gives me really good feedback. Also feedback that I really appreciate. Also feedback about, like technical feedback. You said something twice, or or I don't agree with you on that point. You know, one of the videos that I did, one of those weakling videos that I did lately about that I'm just going to cut off and this and that, and I don't why, you know. And she said that there's some things that I said that that they're like incorrect. Like with the twin flame journey, I know that you can't just disconnect. I know this, but I went on a big rant about how I'm going to disconnect altogether and just cut them off and this and that. And so she's a good mirror for me. But I don't remember what I was saying about that. Oh, so the 3 things that my shaman said, because I promised him that is really interesting, and it is something that I want to give you, is the first thing is that fear might come up, but remember that it's nothing to be afraid of. It's just something that you don't know yet, that you've never experienced it. So it's like fear of the unknown. It's just fear that because you've never experienced it before. And I thought that was just highly genius and true, and something that I take for life all the time. I all the time go back and forth with those sentences within myself, is that it's not scary. It's just something that you've never experienced before. I remind myself of that, and that has really helped me out a lot. Another thing is you know, another thing that he told me is to surrender into the experience. Just surrender. Don't fight it, because you're going to be going on this experience. And that's kind of like it is in life, you know. We're on this life journey. You can either fight it the whole way and be out of whack, or you can just decide that you are going to surrender into it. What will be, and you'll deal with it when it comes. And that kind of connects back to being in the now. Be in the now. And what I've noticed also is that when you are in the now, everything leads to relevant things. So when you're in the now, one thing leads to the next relevant moment. When you're trying to control everything, you're actually cutting off the flow of things, because you're going from this thing and you're not letting it fully play out because you're so busy about going on this thing, that this thing you cut off in the middle, and you don't know the full potential of it because you want to move on to this thing that you have to do. And you're also like shaping your life according to what you already know. So let's say if I'm trying to control my life and say what I'm going to be doing in each and every moment, and I already have planned out my whole future, okay, so I may have security in that, but the security that I have is taking my life in a direction that I already know and not allowing my life to open up for me. And so there was that about the fear, there was that about the surrender, which I also took into my life. And also another thing that he said is that if you're not liking your experience, and he was talking about the shamanic ceremony that we were doing, he says all you have to do is move your focus onto something else. And it's just whatever you put your focus on will open up for you. So if you're going down this road and you're not liking the way it's working out, move your attention over to here, and then something else will open up for you. And it's like the small of the big, because it's exactly the same way in life. You're going down a path you don't like, you're at a job you don't like, all of your focus is on what you don't like. If you just take the time and move your focus away from what it is onto something that you do like purposefully use your focus to create your life experience, then you are out there ahead of your life and in control of what is going to happen. And it's really simple. You don't even have to know all the answers. All you have to do is move your focus around. When you move your focus around, that's where your life force goes. So if I'm focusing on something that is negative, then there is no choice but for my life to become that, because it's like tuning a channel. In this present moment is where my attention is. My attention is on making this a video. So my life focus can't be down there on what they're doing with the coffee if all of my mindset is on this. So wherever you put your focus is where your life energy flows to. So if I know this, and I know this well, and I remember this, then I can take my life Just by moving my focus around, I move my life energy around. So, and not only in the physical world, also in the spiritual world. So if I'm feeling all crappy in the morning, I wake up and I'm feeling all crappy, then I just decide that I'm going to focus on something that makes me feel really good. Then I can also change my life experience, because our life experience is one moment at a time. One moment at a time. If I'm focusing on what I don't have, then that's where my life focus is going, and all the things I don't have, and that, you know, emotions create more of the same. Everything creates more. If I am experiencing a very low emotion, a very low feeling emotion that makes me feel like crap, and I keep on focusing on it, it's going to bring up more low feeling emotions. So, oh, I feel like crap because this isn't working out for me. And then I'm going to start noticing all the things that aren't working out for me. And then I'm going to be, it's easier said than done. I know. And you guys know that I know that, because you guys seen my videos, seen me losing it, where I can't, trying to grasp my focus and bring it back into where I want my life to expand into. That's what's really good about me having these jobs to do, like this job here that I'm doing now, because I come to a place, I'm selling my hours. It's really simple. I have my mind free, and I'm making money. So that also is something that gives me a little bit of quiet in my mind. I can't be anywhere else right now at this moment. I have to be here because this is what I'm doing. It gives me an opportunity also to make these videos and to think, kind of do a reset in myself, which I'm so blessed, really. I'm so blessed. I mean, look at this. I'm here, I'm working outside. There's chickens running around. I get to choose what I do. I'm painting these garbage cans, but I get to choose the colors. It's kind of artistic, and I get to do it on my own time, and I choose where. So I got to come up here away from everybody else that's down there, just so I can have some privacy and quiet in my own mind, and I'm not stuck in everybody else's world. I'm not held hostage by whatever else is going on around me, people talking to me or paying attention to me, here and there. It's not that I don't like people. I like people, that. But sometimes I like to just be with myself too. Sometimes I like to just think and do a reset, after yesterday. And you know what? I'm glad that I'm feeling so much better after last night. And if you watched the video from last night when I was laughing at myself for the stupidity, but I'm also glad with how it left, how my twin was left, because he was left on a good note. So the three things for life is wherever you put your focus is where your life energy goes. It's not really scary. It's just unknown. And when you know something, you are not afraid of it. And surrender into it, which is surrendering into the now, surrendering into where you are at this moment. You don't need to know. Trust, surrender and trust kind of go together, because you don't need to know exactly where everything is going to come from and how it's going to play out. You don't have to know all that right now. Right now, just to be in the moment and trust that the moment will open up the next moment, and will open up the next moment, and will open up the next moment, and trust your intuition. And for what my brother-in-law was saying, this is really fun because I get to come here. My sister and my brother-in-law and their kids, that family lives right up here, and they come here often, so I get to see them. It's really fun. What he was saying about taking chances. They rented a bigger house now, and it's more expensive, and they're sending their youngest son to a different school, and they don't know exactly where everything is going to come from, but they can just trust that it will. Because once you put your power somewhere and you decide on something, it's just like I rented that house. You, you, know, you put it there and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and you decide that you're going to do it, and And somehow it's already been, oh, Roxy's working for some reason. I don't know, there's a lot going on here. And for some reason, things just seem to work out. I mean, I've already been there two months, and rent has come from somewhere. And I see that all of the sitting there and holding my head and all of that doesn't help at all. What helps is coming here and painting and doing what I can do and what I do know how to do, and seeing how things open up. Like even that cleaning job that I was doing opened up this painting job, which the painting job I really like, and I'm actually really happy that I have it because I can take my focus and move it to here, and get up and get out of the house and have somewhere to go and not be focused on all of the things that I don't want to be focused on. And the thing with my twin is that I'm really happy is that when we left, he didn't seem to be, but I also thought about it, he didn't seem to be really upset. He has this real talent of just whatever is. And, and at first I was thinking, well, should I be offended? I mean, I wasn't thinking that really, but there was part of me, there was a question that came up in my mind, if I'm all honest. It didn't seem to cause him any pain in me saying, okay, I think that I need us not to see each other because I want to have a different relationship. And it didn't seem to cause him any kind of pain, which I didn't expect it to. But still at the same time, even just as being friends, if you care about your friend, all of a sudden your good friend is telling you, hey, I don't want to see you anymore. Even that is in a way hurtful, but he understands. He said to me, he's said to me that he understands how that could be a very difficult place to be in when you feel a certain way about somebody and it's not mutual, or not the sentiment isn't, you're not getting it back. Yeah, that it's not a two-way. So he gets it. I don't know the way to believe him still. And I'm just wondering if that's me making up stories in my mind or if it's real. I don't know. I think that however this whole thing is going to play out, it's going to play out. And I think that I have plenty of things now that I'm looking forward to, like my shaman is coming, and I'm making these videos, which I really enjoy, and I'm working on my workshop, which also the twin flame journey really helps me with that, because next to the twin flame journey, everything is getting becoming small. It's like I can deal with anything. If I can deal with that and all the pain of that, I can deal with anything. So those are the three things. And my brother-in-law, I actually told him that maybe one time I would like to sit with him and do a video where we talk about things, because he has a lot of really smart things to say. That I would interview him, and so we'll see. Maybe I can find a time to interview him. I want to do some interviews. I want to start interviewing some of my friends. I have such cool friends. I'm so happy with my friends. I have the best friends ever. Really. I meet the most interesting people that are doing the most interesting things, and they're so connected, and I learn so much from all of them. I want to show off my friends. I want to show them off. Not to show off to be a show off, but to show off their knowledge and their uniqueness, and kind of put them in center stage. Show how cool they all are. Let them do give them a Bama is give them a stage to stand on and bring them out into the world, so that the world can be like, oh, those are such cool people. The sun got onto me, so I'm thinking that I want to move this table. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this here. So what was he talking to me? Oh, he was talking about allowing yourself to stand in place, which is pretty much just allowing yourself to come into the now. And allowing, because he was talking about how we're so used to always being in the run and always trying to make everything happen like we want it to happen and how it needs to happen, and always trying to be in control. He didn't use those words, but those are the words that I'm using to get the point across. And a lot of times we don't know how to just be and allow. And that's something that I'm learning, how to be and allow the flow and trust in God. Even realize that there's a God. I think that my true belief in God has come to me in the last year. So that's the truth. And my connection with my great grandfather has also, that's something else. That's a different video I'm going to talk about. But that's also something that really just like is hitting me like a ton of bricks. This knowing that my great grandfather is flowing through me, and I can just feel it. I can just feel it, and it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming, and at the same time, it's something that in my family, if I come out and say something like that, and I think that everybody kind of knows that I'm feeling that a little bit, but they don't want to bring it to the surface because then they'd have to deal with it, and they think I'm going a little bit crazy because I'm saying these things, because they thought that also my great grandfather was. But that's them, and I have to live my own life, and I'm realizing that my great grandfather, his spirit is running through me, and that's just really strange to say, but I do feel it. And I'm realizing it more and more, and the more that I'm realizing, the more it's becoming my truth, and the more it's just becoming something that I just talk about openly. Not quite with my parents yet, but it's coming. That's what's coming. I know this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this here. Make this kind of blend a little bit better. Looks like it's kind of off. Trying to see if I can find some more yellow here to blend it with. Okay, so thanks for watching.